Hello and welcome back. Well, I've received quite a lot of questions about Qatar drone rules. So in this video, I'll answer three most common questions that I get. Number one being is, are the tourists allowed to bring drones into Qatar and to fly them? Number two is, what do you do if you're transiting through Qatar and you have your drone with you? And number three is, how to register a drone. And as a side note, before I begin, this video is all about drone usage for recreational purposes. If you're looking for commercial rules and regulations for drone usage, this video will not cover them. So let's start with an easy one. Qatar drone rules for tourists. And it's an easy one because it's simple. You're simply not allowed to bring your drone into the Qatar or use it in Qatar if it's not registered, and only Qatar residents can register the drone. So don't even think of bringing or using your drone in Qatar unless you're a resident and your drone is registered. Now, the second one is, and this one is a bit more trickier, with Qatar Airlines becoming, one of the dominant airlines around the world, there's a lot more people transiting through Qatar and a lot more people carrying drones. So how do you go about if you're flying with a drone through Qatar? Well, there are two things. As a visitor, you're not allowed to bring the drones into the Qatar. So if you have a short layover and you're not exiting the airport, you're fine. You can simply fly in and fly out without exiting the airport, and no one will do anything to you or your drone. Now, what happens in case you have a long layover and you're staying maybe a night in Qatar? Well, there are two options that you can consider. Option number one being you get your luggage checked in all the way through the destination, right? So especially if you're flying on Qatar Airways all the way from your departure to your destination, get your checked in luggage, and your drone must be in the checked in luggage, and check it in all the way through the destination so you don't pick up the luggage in Qatar. So in reality, your drone will remain in your luggage within the holding area at the Qatar airport. Now, the second thing is, and here are the conflicting reports. You can try and take your drone with you during your layover into Qatar. Legally, under the law, it's not allowed. However, there's been a lot of reports that people took the drone in and it wasn't confiscated by the customs. But there were also reports that it was confiscated. So if you want to try and risk it, it's your choice, but I would highly not recommend it. Because in reality, it's breaking the law and this is not something you should be doing. So, to quickly summarize, if you have a short layover and you don't exit the airport, you're fine. You just take your drone through with you and there's no issues. If you have a long layover, your best option is to have your luggage checked in all the way to your destination so you don't pick it up in Qatar, and have your drone in your luggage. Now, moving on to the third question. How do you register a drone in Qatar if you're a resident in Qatar? Well, the drone registration process is relatively simple. However, there are certain requirements that will take some time to achieve. So, the drones are governed by Civil Aviation Authority of Qatar. And the form is currently on the screen, and it's a simple form to fill in. However, there are a few requirements if you see it. You need the drone pilot license in order to be able to register. You need also a security clearance certificate that can be obtained either from police or from the Ministry of Interior or from the embassy, right? So that will take some time. And thirdly, when you are flying the drone, you also need a drone insurance. So there are quite a lot of requirements to get your drone registered in Qatar. It's not impossible, but it is a long process. So once you have all the requirements, once you have all the documents which are required for drone registration in Qatar, you simply fill in this form and send it through to Civil Aviation Authority. From what we can understand, there is no fees associated with it, but there's also no timelines guaranteed on how long the process of drone registration will take. Right? So that's an unknown factor here. Just to quickly recap, the drone registration is one form. However, the drone requirements for registering the drone are quite complex. You need the security clearance, you need the pilot license, and when flying, you do need insurance. So If you're considering owning a drone in Qatar, you do need to register it. Even if you don't fly the drone, you still need to register the drone to own it in Qatar, because coming in and out of Qatar, you may get your drone seized by the customs. So I hope you found this video useful and it clarified the points about Qatar drone rules and regulations. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.